How much money did I make off of Google Play in 1 week? How's it going, everybody? It's Zyfold here. In this video, I will be discussing how much money I made in 1 week off of a game I made in a week. I challenged myself to produce and release a game under this short time frame to complete to finish. You can watch the video, it's in the description for Cautious Kits. Also, the game will be in the description too. Please download it, shameless plug. In addition, I will be discussing some of the difficulties I had with updating and all the other Google Play shenanigans I had this week. Yeah. Okay, so Cautious Kits did go through a few phases throughout this week. I added additional content to the store as well as a full new section. So 2 new models were added to the game so you can switch up your models to a different player. One of the models is this weird cross box thing and the other model is well known, Hypercube. I did make a video in the description, it will be in the description of the creation of the Hypercube. I put grass on it and made a Blender video out of it. Don't mind my shameless plug. So my game did get a huge difficulty spike throughout this week of development. So in the original, the spikes were kind of like at a constant height, but now they spawn at different heights, so it's a little more interesting. This makes the game slightly harder, but it's more enjoyable. Each level's unique, each world's unique every time you start, so it just makes it more fun. And then the increased difficulty, I thought it made it a little bit more worthwhile for a revive. And then also in the original, the only benefit to the revive was a second chance at your high score. So I also added, so the farther you go, the more money you get. So every 25 meters, each spike will give you an additional $1. So yeah, you can really rank up the money. So in the previous original version, you only got $2 per every single spike you went through. It's in branches, so every 25 you'll get another. And then the speed also increases. It's really faint, but it is there, so you go faster. Those additions were actually pretty easy and didn't take up that much time. The majority of the time I actually went into leaderboards and the achievement system. I had so much trouble with this, you won't even know. The current version of Unity's Google Play integration was not working. I could not for the life of me get anything to work. It would just crash and there's multiple files and all this shindigs. So the version I was having trouble with is the 11.01. I could not get that to work and I had to revert all the way back to 10.11. Even 10.14 was too new and just would not work. So the problem was it would duplicate assets, so it would install into 2 different folders for some reason, and it would need stuff from each one of those folders. Things were named the same, and if I deleted it, it just made everything else not work. So everything was bad. I would definitely recommend, if you're adding Google services to your game, make backup folders. Just do it. You will never be able to recover your project if you don't. And integrating with Google Play services is hell on earth. And then once I did finally get the game to compile, there was even more issues. Like the code behind like the achievements and login is super easy. It's well documented. It's a Google product. It's pretty good, but that wasn't the only hiccup either. I spent a good 2 days just trying to figure out how to get the app to connect to Google servers. So I would get this prompt message. So like the prompt message, it would try to connect and then it would refuse connection. So the problem is it's not well documented, but I did not change my SHA-1 key from default to upload. That was it. Like when you create the Google API is you have to use the default in order to create it, but you have to change it to the upload key or it will not accept it, which like in retrospect makes sense, but it's not well documented on the Google side of things. They do not specify any of that you need to change it to the upload key, because they say only do that when you're about to upload the app, which I was using DevTest, so I have no clue why that didn't work. Once I did finally figure that out and got that all working, it was time to move on to the achievements and leaderboards. So just random thoughts I had. What I thought was funny was the achievements I added, like hitting your head against the ceiling. I thought head injuries and brain damage was kind of funny. That sounds weird of me saying that. I thought that the idea that a cube can get brain damage was funny. And then going the distance of like Olympic size swimming pool, I think that's a common distance that people just know for some reason. And then making the cover art, I thought it was a little intimidating because I'm not very good at art, but I've been learning Blender, so I thought making like 3D animations, since the game's in 3D and it's like basic geometry, just a freaking cube and a few triangles, or triangular prisms, but making these covers intimidating, but you know, each one of them only took me a couple minutes. I thought they looked pretty nice. They fit the game well, because it's just basic geometry, so how much more can you get? I'll definitely be making more Blender videos. I'll probably just check out my channel. I'll probably do a lot more Blender videos. I made a bunch of trailers for this game too. I'm only using one, obviously. You can view that one currently on my channel. So, some of them might have some copyright material, so hopefully I don't get copyright striked, but you know, it's whatever. But I thought my first animation here, it's not very good. I didn't know how to use lighting or anything, but I'm not an artist, but I thought it looked good enough for like a mobile game.
You gotta wake up, please!
Lyle, turn on the TV! They hit the Pentagon! They hit the fucking Pentagon!
I can't get up there. Fuck!
This animation took a long time to render because I did it in cycles and everything and made it as beautiful as possible. This was rendered in Eevee. I thought it made more sense to the story. This is still the same animation as the before. It just adds some flashing lights and then the ball kicks down the door, eats the king, and then transitions into gameplay. I am thinking about changing the text there and re-updating the gameplay because the game does look slightly different. That last one there was the final cut, at least as of right now, is the final cut of the trailer that I did, so I definitely improved from that first one. This brings us to the end of the video of what the title's even about. So how much money did I make off of 80 hours of work now? It was 40, but you know, copyright drumroll, please. Sorry to break the suspense, but keep in mind I am not currently famous and the only marketing I did was word of mouth. So more drums. 32 cents. Yep, 32 cents. I only had 14 downloads, like 27 ad views. If I had more players, you know, I could make decent money, because what my CPME or whatever is like $8. So 1,000 ad views, $8, decent, but not famous enough. I don't have a good player base. A lot of tech YouTubers always try to make empty promises like, hey, you can make this much money. But being realistic, you're probably not going to make that much money. It's a really fun hobby. I recommend it. And hey, if it ever catches on, you've made some money. So I still will recommend releasing a game. It's $25 to be a dev account on Google. You put it on your resume. It's kind of a low-key flex, to be honest. Tell your friends or whatever, hey, I'm a game developer. But, you know, thank you so much for watching this video to this point. Please like, subscribe, dislike, unsubscribe, ring a bell, unring a bell. You're an adult. If you're not, well, you still have free will. I guess, bye. Download my game, please, in the description. It's fun and free. What could you lose?